Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. For today I want to share with you my experience with the Pain Clinic, which for those who don't know is a clinic designed to try to help those who suffer from more long-term pain rather than short-term. When I looked into different people's experiences with the Pain Clinic, I was met with both varied and divided opinions. Some said the Pain Clinic was great and that it helped them quite a lot with just general pain management and their pain levels. However, others said that it was of no use to them whatsoever and that it was a complete waste of their time. So I was a little bit skeptical of what my personal experience would be like, but I did hope that it would have some kind of benefit to me one way or another. Before we get started properly with this video today, I do just want to very quickly point out that the Pain Clinic was basically my last or one of my last treatment options to try out. Over the years, I have tried a lot and nothing really seems to work to take my pain problems away. So my doctor referred me to a kind of like a last resort type thing, as there's not really much of anything else that I can try in order to ease the problems that I have with my pain. I was referred by my doctor to the Pain Clinic earlier this year, and my first appointment, I think if I remember rightly, was all the way back in April 2020, which would have been a face-to-face style consultation, but it was changed to a telephone appointment due to the coronavirus pandemic, which is completely understandable. However, this was when the first minor complaint with the Pain Clinic cropped up, because to be honest with you guys, there was just a lack of communication in general regarding what would happen with appointments due to the coronavirus. Would my appointment be cancelled? Would it change to a telephone appointment? I just didn't have a clue and they weren't communicating with me about anything. It was actually a few days before I was due to have this appointment, and they still hadn't contacted me. I still hadn't heard anything about it, and I had to get in touch with them. I actually got in touch with them via email, to which they then finally informed me that my appointment had been changed to a telephone appointment, which again, that's completely fine. It's understandable with the situation happening with COVID-19 right now, completely understandable. However, my issue was that they just didn't let me know anything about my appointment. Actually, I do have a family member also who works with the Pain Clinic, and they had their appointment just completely cancelled due to COVID. So that was like the first little kind of minor issue that I had with them. But again, it's only minor. We're going to move on. I actually had my first appointment with them, and to be honest, it went okay. I feel it could have maybe gone better, but it could have definitely been worse. I felt as though it was, just a typical average introductory appointment in which I spoke to a pain consultant who was basically just trying to get to know me. He did have my medical records in front of him, but he wanted to talk to me, wanted to ask me these questions about how the pain affects my life and what kind of pain it is, how often it is there, what does it stop me from doing, all of that sort of stuff. He was just trying to understand my situation with my pain levels and what I do to manage it on a day-to-day basis currently. He did go into details about what the Pain Clinic was and their goals, but to be honest, I was still not 100% sure how they could help me personally. The pain consultant himself even said that he wasn't sure if he could help me, which, to be honest, was a little bit upsetting, but I am glad that he was just honest and open about it rather than giving me some kind of false hope that this was going to be some kind of miracle, At the end of the appointment, which I think lasted just under an hour perhaps, he wrote out a report which he then sent out in the post to both myself and my doctor. It detailed his findings and his thoughts on my pain problems. I was actually relatively happy with the report that he'd written, mainly because he mentioned on there how there was no point in continuing to try out painkillers and medications for my pain, as it clearly wasn't working out. It was nice to finally have someone pick up on that rather than having people shove painkillers down my throat all the time. So during my first appointment, I was told that I needed to arrange a second appointment, and I was given both a phone number and an email to use in order to do that. And I was told that I could do it either way, via this email address or via a phone number. Brilliant. But for some reason, the email address that the pain clinic had given to me was not a valid email address. Like, it just didn't work. I was triple checking that I had entered the email address incorrectly, and it just was not sending. I'm actually somebody who does get very, very nervous at being on the phone to people, especially if I have to be the one to actually make the call. So really, I do try to avoid ringing people if it isn't completely necessary to, hence why I emailed them over ringing them about booking in this new appointment. So I was a little bit gutted that this email that they'd given to me just didn't work for one reason or another. I did actually dig through previous appointment letter that they had sent me, and that actually had a different email address on it. I tried that one and that actually worked. But it was just weird how that email address that I originally tried, that they originally gave to me, just didn't work at all. So that was a little bit of a carry on, but it did get sorted out in the end. So moving on now to the appointments that I had after that first introductory one. And this is when I had some more issues with them, basically because they were completely useless appointments and a little bit of a waste of time. Keep in mind too that these appointments were very difficult for me to do. It's, in depth at times, very intense, just discussing past traumas and what's happened in my life in order for me to be in the situation that I'm in now with my pain. So often I would come off of the phone from the pain clinic and just be really upset, and I would cry. But these further appointments I had just weren't good ones. These appointments would last for about 30 minutes each, and really they just didn't have much content. Usually my consultant would, recommend me a couple of pain websites or tell me a story about pain. But to be honest, I got the impression that he really didn't know what to do next with me. And he was often giving me information that I already had known for quite some time. No, I'm not an expert at the conditions that I suffer from. However, I've been suffering with them for over 10 years at this point, and because I've hit so many dead ends with other health professionals, and because I hadn't really been given much info or insight into them via health professionals, there were times where I was at, wit's end, and I took it upon myself to do my own research and to try to understand it in my own way. So for me, it kind of felt like too little too late. I'd ask him questions and he wouldn't really commit to anything or give any kind of concise answer. I had a few appointments like this, and in the end, I just basically started to think that this was just a complete waste of time and that this wasn't going to help me at all. I didn't feel like I was understanding my pain any better as a result of being with the pain clinic. I didn't feel as though I was understanding myself any better through the process. I felt as though during appointments I was constantly rehashing over the past, which was extremely painful for me to do. As I mentioned earlier, I would, feel very down and get upset often during and after each appointment. I felt as though it really just wasn't a good thing for me to keep doing. And so since then, I haven't made any further appointments with the pain clinic. And to be honest, I don't think I ever actually will book another appointment with them. If going to the pain clinic has helped you, then that's absolutely great. Like, I'm really, really glad that they've managed to help you in some way, shape or form. But for me personally, I just don't feel like I developed my understanding of my pain. I didn't really learn anything about, any different kind of pain management techniques. I just don't feel like I progressed. And I don't feel as though my pain therapist really knew what he wanted or needed to do with me. He wouldn't really commit to anything, wouldn't give me concise information or answers. There wasn't a treatment plan in place or a pain management plan in place or anything like that. And really, I just felt very in the dark about the entire thing. So really, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the pain clinic. Have you ever been referred to a pain clinic before? If so, what was your experience? Let me know. Did they help you? Did they not? Was it a waste of time? Was it not? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for listening. If you're new here, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, and I very much hope to see you in my next video.